Hey, welcome back to Copperhead Customs and welcome to a new episode on our 28 Oakland. If you don't know what Oakland is, look them up. They're basically a Chev Pontiac type deal. So we're building this. We've just started. Today's plan, last episode we did the framework for our back bit of the cab. Today's plan is we're going to get that seat out, trim our mounts, make them smaller, shorter. Then I think we might take that seat inside. That's right, and we're going to sew it up. Let's see how we go. Reaper. Okay, so here's what we did. We made the little framework. If you watched the last episode, this is episode 2. If you watched episode 1, then you would have seen what we did. We just made that, knocked up that little frame. We've got little curvatures in it. And then we've actually got them angled. We've got these are actually angled. They are angled to follow the door line, because the doors are curved. Yeah, so we've got them angled. It all seems pretty good. It's all nice, square, level, everything. Now, if you look there, you'll actually see that the seat looks a bit lower on this side. Well, that's not my framework. Don't worry, it's the actual seat, and we will adjust that when we go and recover and refoam it. So now what we're doing is, as you can see on our seat, we've got 3-inch piece of 3 by 1 inch here, and the seats, to me, the seat's a bit high. I prefer the seat lower. My head sticks above the window. I'm like nearly 6'4", so I'm a fairly big unit. So what my plan is this is actually a tilt seat, right? So we're going to turn this into, well, we'll do this one last, but we'll get rid of this piece. This will either be a piece of flat or a piece of 1-inch RHS, and this will be a piece of 1-inch RHS. Now that runs the whole length going across. I don't actually think we need to. I think we could just go here to here. Would be suffice. Is that the word? Suffice, sufficient, basically. What we may need to do though is we may need to trim this down like there, or actually we could probably have a bit of this. We'll have to cut a bit of this bracket anyway. A bit of that can run down into there. That won't matter. This means we'll notch it when we do our floor. Easy peasy. But yeah, I think a piece of 1-inch RHS at the front. We'll sit the seat in, have a look, see what we think. We're also thinking of taking the seat back a little bit. But yes, I'm thinking about if we had this just maybe with a bit of flat bar. So basically we'd have 25mm here, or 1 inch. And if here we had like a 1/4 inch or like 5mm or something, flat bar, we'd actually angle the seat a bit more down and a bit more back, which may be even nicer. So that's what I'm thinking, guys. And then I would like this closer to here. And we want the top down at the same sort of level. I don't like that sitting above. So that's my plan. Is first we're going to just quickly unbolt the seat, change these mounts. As you can see, we've got gasless. That's gasless wire. The welding's been done with. Now I've gone and got new wire, all new consumables. So I'll set that up later before we weld it out properly to run the gas wire. And yeah, let's get this all chopped off, change it. Then I think we'll take the seat inside. We'll put some brand new foam in it. We've got a piece here, probably more. Well, no, we haven't, but it's big, thick, nice, big, thick foam that I've got. We'll refoam it. We'll put a bit of shape into it. And then we are going to sew up. We've got to make a pattern, and we're going to put crocodile leather, crocodile rock. Oh yeah, croc leather, vintage, aged. Now this is a pretty ratty piece, but you can actually see the pattern. It's real croc. This isn't fake. This is real. It needs some conditioning, but this is what we're going to use. Real deal. We're going to cut all this up, and we're going to sew up a seat. And I'm going to show you. We'll try this again. If it does it again, we're going to have issues. My phone keeps having a meltdown. Sorry, my camera. I think I'm having a meltdown. Anyway, what I was saying was, vintage croc, we're about to, yeah, I'll fill you in on how I got this, how it come about, what the deal is, what I do. I'll fill you in on all that. You might be quite surprised of how I do my stuff. But there's the other seat we did for our 32. It's the first time I've ever done it. And when we have a proper look at that, you might be quite surprised. It looks a bit funny there, but when you see what I did, yeah, you'll go, oh, this dude's got some really nice talent. It's not bad for a freaking welder. So anyway, let's get this happening. Then we'll get to that. And we'll see if we end up doing the dance or if we end up in the rocking chair like this. Reaper. And, well, we're doing some upholstery. So this has been done slightly different than you would normally do it. So you'd normally have your seat and you'd have your foam on your seat, shape your foam, and you then would, I'm showing you the bread, haha, you would then do a paper template, your pattern. So you'd put your pattern over your foam, your paper, you trace it out of what you want to do, how you want to do it. Okay, you can then also, so you know, that's a piece, that's right over, you know. Oh, this might actually, this all could be one piece and they've just actually put a sew line through there. But that's beside the point. So that was, you'd normally do your pattern and then you bring your pattern in, transfer that onto your material. cut your material, start sewing. But we're doing this different today because, one, we already have a cover made that we can kind of use as our template. Now this, of course, I'll stand back a bit, this was the original cover for the seat, but the seat's been trimmed down, the seat's been narrowed that way. So it's had 220 mil cut out of it. So this cover needs to be 220 mil shorter, right? So what we're going to do is, this is where it even gets more confusing for you. Because this is my leather. Now this is my crocodile leather. Now this is already a bit sewn, yeah? Because this was a lounge. An old vintage crocodile lounge worth an absolute fortune. So my plan is, we've already cut these. These are two of the bottom, I think, cushions, anyway, two of the cushions. But you can see it's already got the fabric on the back, everything. So we've just cut the edge off like this. So we're already edged everything. So this is going to kind of make it a bit easier for us. So we've already got our edge. So basically our foam would be in there, see? Yeah? Push. So this has already saved half of our job. Normally we would have to have this as a pattern. Our paper pattern would come to here, then we'd do another paper pattern across the top and down wherever you want. If you've got a lump in your foam, you know, if you've got your foam that comes and it has a bulge in it, that will be another little piece of pattern that you sew. Okay? We don't have to do that with this one. So what we're going to do is, we've already got our sides made and our top made. So we're just going to get our measurement across. We've cut this off of this side of the cushion. We're basically going to get these two cushions and sew them together. Okay, at our correct measurement. That basically gives us potentially our back rest of our cover. Now we'll do something different on the back of it though, because this has this on it. I don't think we're going to run this. I think I'll actually cut this out and we will sew some more leather in there. And then we'll work out how we're going to wrap it. Now I'm thinking we'll do some stuff here where we'll tuck this through. The existing one had a zip, which I don't actually really know how well that worked, but the existing one had a zip in it. We're not going to do that. We'll just have it tucked through and pig ringed or something back up here, or the two pieces may join together at the back down the bottom. You'll never see it, no one will ever know, so it'll all be good. That'll be on the other side, yeah? So then my other plan is, you go, now that looks a bit boring as your seat back. Yeah, it probably freaking does, but this is where we're lucking out on this one is, look at this piece here. Absolutely beautiful piece of crocodile leather. My plan is that's going to sit something like that. Now, I will probably, whether I sew them in or whether I just have them as throw cushions that sit on the base. Now these are soft and spongy. This will be so freaking comfortable. So we've got nice big thick, I don't know, 4-inch foam probably it is. It will be on here the whole way through, and then we're going to have this as well sitting on there like that. Two of them, bang and bang. Now I think that is going to be absolutely beautiful. Then we've got some other of these, but smaller ones that I think may get put sort of like that in the corner between the seat and the door rail, but we'll address that later when we do the door cards and behind the seat and all of that. But that's sort of what our backrest is going to be like. So this is Velcro. So, you know, I could put a piece of Velcro, a couple of tabs of Velcro on there and stitch them in, or I could just throw it in. That way, if you don't like it, you can throw it in the back. So that's where I'm sort of leaning at the moment, is to have them as a bit of a throw thing. So what this does though, this will actually push your bum forward in the seat a bit, which actually then gets you laying down a bit better, which actually puts you lower in the seat. It's actually, I've sat in it, it's going to be wicked comfortable. So enough rambling. We'll get this finished cutting and trimmed where we want it, so it's ready to sew. And we'll start building our backrest. Now then we'll come back and we'll talk about our base in a minute. I haven't even looked at the base. I haven't looked at what leather I'm going to use for the base yet, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Ripper. So, there's our foam done. Now, secret, I'll let you in on a secret. This foam costs an absolute fortune, okay? An absolute bloody fortune. So if you're going to do this and you're going to go buy your leather and go buy your foam, be prepared to empty your wallet. Now I'm going to let you in on a little secret here, and that is, if you do what I do, is I go buy an old couch, where you go buy a quality, like an Italian leather couch or something, that was the $20,000 lounge suite, that has complete full hide, not split hide leather, like a proper leather. You go pick one of them up off Marketplace, give away $50, $100, whatever, in the colour you want to do it in. So this one was a couch made out of crocodile leather. Now, that was like a $60,000 lounge suite. I paid $100 for it, okay? Now, so that's where you get your leather. What else do you get? Well, look at all the foam. Now, if you go to the rubber shop, the foam shop, that's probably $100 a piece. There's probably $300 worth of foam there that you then got to glue and shape, whatever, all that. So if you are building hot rods and rat rods and you really want to scab out on it, well, this is what you go do. So I paid 50 or $100 for that lounge, and I'm going to have a full interior done out of crocodile. That is more comfy than that seat would have ever been in its life. Now, my 32 Ford is done in red leather. That was a free lounge, and we've already done the seat, and that's going to have a leather roof lining, leather, all the door cards, the back. I'm actually putting leather carpet in it. Like, I'm not even carpeting it, I'm putting leather because I've got that much of it. So the whole interior is going to be red leather of full hide, not split hide, full hide, for free. So that's a little tip. The wife's given me stink eye as it is for letting that one out, because that was my little secret. But anyway, so what we've done here is we've cut that just with a bread saw. Here's another tip. If you're going to do it in the kitchen, make sure either your wife's on board or she's gone out, because it could actually get really badly pear-shaped for you if she catches you in the kitchen sewing and cutting your phone. Anyway, trust me how I know, especially using the kitchen bread knife. Anyway, what we've done there is we've just cut that with a bread knife. Now, some people get all carried away. They sand it. They fritz around. There's no need. It's getting leather wrapped around it. The leather's going to be nice and tight on there. So that, to me, is good enough. We've left the bottom as a one piece, because that was a one piece I had. And we've actually left the, I don't know what you call that white stuff, but we've left that on as an extra. And that is actually slightly too big. But don't worry, that will work a treat when the bottom... This foam will contract and it will just make it firmer and nicer. And the top we've done in the two pieces. We've curved the edge a bit, but that's going to work. And we've put the little, we've actually cut them both pieces on like a 45 down in the corner there. So that's basically our seat foam done. Now, you'll see further on as I keep going that I'm actually going to run some cushions in this as well. But that's like, yeah, that's a whole different story. So what I'll do now is I'm going to sit the top cover that I'm halfway through on, and we'll come back in and I'll show you what my plan is next. All right, Reaper. All right, so this is basically what we're going to do, the mock-up, yeah? So these here, these were the arm cushions, yes? So that was a little arm cushion where you stick your arm. And here's the other one. So what we're going to do with them is, on the back of this, we've got some Velcro. So we're going to sew some Velcro. We're going to sew a piece of leather on here that flaps down to there. That's going to have some Velcro on it. So they're going to be Velcroed on. And then we can, if you don't want that rest, you can rip it off and throw it in the back. Correct? Correct. Now, so there are our rests, basically our head, shoulder rests, yeah? And then this is, like, look at the leather, like, come on now. So I think these were the actual head rests. So these originally have the Velcro. So these originally would have gone around and been Velcroed onto there, is how I think it was originally done. They would have been Velcroed on there, somehow, like that, whatever. Anyway, that's not how we're doing it, because we don't do it like that. So we're just going to have these just sitting in. I'm not going to sew them, I'm not going to Velcro them, I'm not going to do nothing. They're just going to sit in there like that. And that way, if you're not comfortable with it, but you should sit in them, my God, we can drive around Australia in this, mate. So you can throw that in the back too if you didn't want to have the cushions at all. Or someone who's 85 foot tall decides, you know, he doesn't want the cushion, pull the cushion out, throw it, pull the cushion out, throw it, pull the top cushion off, unvelcro it, throw it. And then here, these are probably seat bases or something, I think they were. So we'll do the same to them as what we basically did to the back. We'll cut them to size, sew them, and that will be the start of our base. Okay, so now, what we've got to do on the back, we've got the back wrapped. We're pretty happy with the way that's wrapping around. I'll fold it down, see if how it goes folding down. Watch the dodgy camera work here for a minute. Oh, yeah, there we go. Right, so this still folds, because that's why we put the 45 cuts in. So what we've got here is, we've got it coming through, and here's our pole. So now these don't really have anywhere good to tie to. So what the plan is, we're going to cut this black material off. This is going to get wrapped up like that. So we've got to sew a new piece of leather on here that will come down basically to there. Come down to here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I'll probably just use some cable ties and cable tie them all together along there. I think that's the plan. And that will have this covered. So we'll do this piece slightly shorter than what we want, so we get it nice and tight. And that will be that all covered. We'll throw our cushions in. Boom, boom. And we will set these up. So we'll do the same on here. We'll probably chop this. Put a piece of Velcro, put another piece of leather in there. That will turn into a bit of a, we'll have like a little flap, leather flap. That drops down here onto there. Okay, I think that's what we'll do. So that will sit like that. That will sit like that. And there it is. Comfy, comfy, comfy. And then, if you want it even comfier, what I'm going to do is, on the door cards, I'm going to sit this cushion on the door card. So if you have taken any notice of what's happening, our door is about here. It's a bit hard to film. Our door opens here. And here's our little frame that we made the other day. So we're going to, on that, we're going to put that cushion in like that. And so it is just going to be snug as a bug on a rug. So that's the plan. So what, and see, look, we haven't even had to, we're just using the existing cushions off of it. Like, how good do you want it, guys? Like, this is like, we haven't even had to do the seat properly, if that makes sense. We haven't had to make templates, we haven't had to, we're just chopping and changing the existing leather. Like, it doesn't get any easier than doing this one. My 32 seat, when you look at that, I went to town on that and it took me about a week. This is easy peasy. So I think the next step now is I think we'll continue on the back piece and we'll cut that black stuff out and we'll get a new piece for that. So what we'll do is we'll take a measurement. Like I said, we'll take a measurement from there to down to there. We'll get our piece, we'll cut that out, get a new piece, sew it up. All right? Pa, 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 pa. Boom. There it is. So it's a little bit rough, but it's not bad, eh? So what we've got is, we've got our head pillows there. We've made them kind of like saddlebags, so they can Velcro off. Boom. You can throw them in the back of the tray. Boom. And then these ones, they just sit in there. Okay? So you throw them in. If you don't like them, you get rid of them. If you like them, you keep them. And then these ones, well, you put them over and they get Velcroed onto the back so they don't blow away. And the same, if you don't like them, you rip them off, throw them in the back. And then you can put this wherever you want. Now, you sit in it, it is ridiculously comfortable, and just check the leather out. Hey, how freaking cool is that? I don't know. Who's got crocodile skin? Real crocodile skin in their rat rod. Anyway, that's what we've come up with. The base, we actually chopped up that other seat because it has the plastic little clippy things. So they're actually wrapped around. It was actually a touch tight. I had to chop a little bit of extra foam out. Probably made it a little bit tight. And the way we had some grief. We had nothing but grief with this. My machine played up. We broke about 6 needles. We had to go get new parts. Anyway, it's just part of it. It's running like a champ now, of course, because we've just finished. But it fought me a little bit, so it's not... The sewing is not perfect, but it is good enough because you're not going to see any of it. So now with the base here, we get rid of that. We brought the base all the way up, and it actually velcros here. So that wraps up, velcros there. We stitch velcro into the sides there as well. Now this little bit here is a little bit ordinary. I'm going to come up with something later for that. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do there, but I'm going to do something different. We could like fold it all around and stitch it all, but I'm actually going to make something else for there, I think. But that there you will not see anyway. But we will make something for that later on. So yes, the seat comes up, velcros on, so it can be taken off, washed, whatever. And yeah, then we've got these removable. So we've got velcro that sticks in there. We've got to go neaten all our threads up, burn off all the ends. I've only just finished sewing. And that's it. I don't know. So yeah, like I said, you can have it with the pillows in, or you can remove the pillows and you still got croc. It's still all croc. Just normal croc. Doesn't have the pattern in. I've got to condition it all. I haven't conditioned any of it yet. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to go now. And these are, as you can see there, the Velcro. I just got to stitch that, not stitch it, but just put the Velcro on properly. So you can pull the cushions out if you wanted to. Put more in, put more out. They were actually a pain in the butt. So now we've done this differently than you'd normally do it. You would normally put your foam on the seat and you would then get paper and trace out your foam. Like that, yeah? And then you would trace out this bit of foam. And then you'd just go and sew them all together, all right? So the way we did it was probably ended up being a little bit more difficult in a way to utilise everything that we had, as opposed to just making it from scratch. It can actually become more difficult because you're trying to reinvent the wheel, but I think the end result's pretty cool. So I'll go now, skull drag it into the shed, bolt it in the car, we'll have a quick look at it, and that'll be that. We've made a crocodile leather seat for, I don't know what it was, 50 or 100 bucks it cost me for the leather, and I've still got all the rest of the interior to make. Ripper. We are back. Camera cut out as usual. I don't know what is going on with it, but so what I was trying to say, we didn't get any of it, was this is the seat out of my 1932 Ford pickup. Now, this was the original seat that came with the car, and as you can see at the back there, the top, it's only a little thin, and the base was the same. It had no foam. Now, when I sat in that seat, I had no headroom. I couldn't even see out of the window of my 32. My 32's chopped and channeled. Okay, so like I've said before, I'm a big boy, and I couldn't see out of it. I was like, what am I going to do here? So what I ended up doing is we've added probably 10 inches more foam in it. But what we've done is, with that piece in the back, as weird as this looks, what it's done is it's pushed my bum forward and made me sit in it curvy. It's actually lowered me right down. I now have perfect headroom. It is so comfortable. I'm basically nearly laying down in the car in a kind of way. This is the most comfortable seat. Like, this is better. That seat, as weird as it looks, is more comfortable than a Mercedes seat. Like, you know, I have Mercedes. It is so freaking comfortable, that seat, okay? So what we did is, this ends up being nearly like a lumbar support down low, and your shoulders and stuff are in here, are in this area, and then this is like for your bum, of course, goes in there. This is like a little crutch support, because your legs go like there and there. It is ridiculously freaking comfortable. Now look, like, oh yeah, that's better than your lounge chair, that one, mate, I'm telling you. So This one, free. Absolutely free. That is an Italian. If you can see, look. That ain't no crappy leather. That is full hide, about that thick, like it's ridiculous. And then we did this little thing. You can see the leather is like, it's ridiculous. Right, so I made those little things. I don't know. Just thought it looked cool. So what I'm getting at, what I'm dribbling on about is, as you can see here, all these pieces. All these pieces. All that, you know, see, curvy, join. Little piece in there. There's a piece there. There's a piece here. There's a piece there. In the back here. Piece. Right? So what I'm dribbling on about is, that's how you would normally make your seat. Is you've got your seat, you foam it, then you go through and you just made, now I just made a little paper template for that piece. A little paper template for that piece. A little paper template for that piece, just like you would with your sheet metal, okay? And then you just sew them all up. So all you do is you make all your templates, you put that much, you know, you put whatever you, 10 or 15 mil, whatever you want to run, you can do 5 mil, whatever you want, for your sewing allowance, you know. You just add that to everything, and then whatever you've added is what you need to, how you need to sew it. So if you're following what I'm saying, if this is your piece, and then you bring it out to here, that extra piece is your sew allowance. That's because your sew line, where you put your stitches, will be along those edges. But your piece that you cut, you make a bit bigger. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm just showing you the template. So that's done the normal way. Because our other seat that we just did was not done the normal way, because we used the cushions. We didn't chop it all up completely. So here it is. Are you ready? It's in the car. Oh my God, this thing is so comfortable. And far out. How nice does it look? You tell me. Looks pretty nice, doesn't it? So now, like I said, the little area down there, you can't see it anyway, but I'm going to do something with that. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I might make a little leather cover, like a Velcro cover or something. That won't be there. I just didn't want to rip the seat on the way in. And what I know, we may make some sort of a little cushion for the inside of this, for in here or something later. But this will all be leather. This is all going to be leather. All across the back there as well will all be leather. Leather down on the inside of there. We've got door card leather, but you're only going to have to wait for all that. With all the kick panels will all be done in leather. Not sure what I'm going to do on the floor yet. We may leave that in metal. Not sure yet. But there it is, crocodile. Real rigid edge crocodile. Hey? I think it's turned out pretty well. But you sit in it, seriously, it is comfy. There it is from the back. No, I think it looks pretty nice, guys. I think it's pretty nice. Not bad, anyway. And remembering, we won't see any of that down there. You don't see any of that. You just see that. So all you see is this little piece here. We'll paint that nice and black or something, or brown or whatever. And there it is. Now, it doesn't look like it's... Now, you got to remember, also, these are really soft. See, these are really soft. So you're going to sink right back into them. See, so this is going to be so nice. So nice. So anyway, I hope you've learned something, maybe. You learned how much sewing machines can be temperamental. I bet you learned that. But yeah, there we go. There's our seat made. Now we're going to have to pull this out and go and put it somewhere nice and safe so it doesn't get damaged. And continue with our metalwork. We've got our sheet. We've got a sheet of sheet metal in. So we're going to start making up these panels in the next one. I think it's the plan. We'll look at this. We've got our bead roller has come in as well. So yeah, we'll see how we go. We'll try to make these little quarters same, match the doors. That's the plan. I think that's our next plan in the next video. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. Drop your comments down, what you think. If you think it's any good, you think I'm an idiot, you think it's great, drop them down there. And do all that stuff everyone says. You know, like, comment, subscribe, all that malarkey. Try to grow the channel. Now, the reason everyone says that is because generally they don't get shared around a real lot until you're big and famous. So that's what the deal is. The more you do that stuff, the more it's liable to be shared around, and then people might see that we actually do cool stuff here. All right. So anyway, here's another skill that you didn't know I have, and I think that is absolutely, that looks I don't know, myself, I think it's freaking beautiful. Beautiful leather. You need to feel it. It is so soft and nice, and this is old and vintage, so we have to leather condition it, but it is very, very nice, and it's pretty cool. All right. Anyway, enough dribbling. We'll do a dance, eh? Should we do the dance? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time I'm looking at you. Ripper.